The cafeteria had gone silent, the kind of silence that feels heavy, like the air itself is watching something wrong unfold. In the middle of that crowded room, 3 senior girls stood over the new transfer student, their laughter sharp, cruel, echoing off the walls. And then came the sound, a kick. A hard one. It landed squarely on the girl's side as she curled on the floor, trying not to cry. "Welcome to Ridgewood High, loser," sneered Kayla, the ringleader, flipping her hair with practiced arrogance. The crowd of students nearby just stood there. Phones were out, but no one stepped in. But what none of them knew, what not even the bullies could have imagined, was that the new girl's mom was about to walk in. And not just any mom. She was a Navy SEAL instructor, a woman who'd trained soldiers to survive the impossible. And she was here early, hoping to surprise her daughter on her first day of school. Her name was Commander Rachel Hayes. Moments earlier, Rachel had parked her old black SUV outside the school, smiling softly as she held a lunch bag she'd packed with care. She was proud of her daughter, Emily, shy, quiet, but brave in her own way. The world could be harsh, Rachel knew, but she believed strength wasn't about how loud you were. It was about how you stood back up when no one else helped you. That belief was about to be tested. When Rachel entered the cafeteria, her smile faded instantly. She saw Emily, her only daughter, on the floor, clutching her side, surrounded by laughter and camera phones. For a moment, everything inside her went quiet. Then something ancient, fierce, and protective ignited. "Hey," Rachel's voice cut through the noise like a blade. Every head turned. "What's going on here?" The bullies froze. Kayla straightened up, forcing a smirk. We were just hurting my daughter," Rachel said, her tone ice cold, each word perfectly measured. She set the lunch bag down gently on the nearest table. "Step away from her. Now." Something in her voice made the entire room flinch. The bullies backed off instinctively, but Kayla tried to recover her pride. "She bumped into me first. Maybe tell your kid to watch where she's going." Rachel's eyes locked on her, calm, unreadable, the kind of stare that could make even the bravest soldier break a sweat. "Apologize to her," she said quietly. Kayla scoffed. "Or what?" "You'll." Before she could finish, Rachel moved. No one even saw it clearly, just a blur of motion. Her hand flicked, and a cafeteria tray dropped from Kayla's hand before she even realized it was gone. Rachel hadn't touched her, but the message was clear. The woman moved like lightning, every muscle trained for precision. The entire cafeteria fell silent again. Even the phones lowered. "You don't solve pain by passing it on," Rachel said, her voice low but powerful. "You think this makes you strong? It makes you small." Emily, still on the floor, looked up at her mother, tears mixed with shock and something else, pride. Kayla's bravado started to crack. "We were just joking around," she mumbled. "Then joke with someone your own size," Rachel said, stepping closer, her tone still calm. "Now apologize. Properly." It took a long moment, but finally, Kayla whispered, "I'm sorry." Rachel nodded once. "Good. Now you can spend the next week helping the janitor clean up this cafeteria after school. I'll be calling the principal myself." The other 2 bullies didn't argue. They just looked down, faces pale. As Rachel knelt beside Emily, she placed a steady hand on her daughter's shoulder. "You okay, sweetheart?" Emily nodded weakly. "Yeah. I just didn't want to make trouble. I thought if I ignored them, they'd stop." Rachel smiled softly. "Ignoring pain doesn't make it go away, Em. But facing it even when you're scared, that's real courage." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes, but this time they weren't from fear. "I didn't know you were coming today." "I didn't either," Rachel said with a laugh, helping her to her feet. "Guess timing's everything." Later that day, word of what happened spread like wildfire. Students whispered about the mom who moved like a soldier, about how she didn't shout or threaten, she just made them feel the weight of what they'd done. For once, the school didn't celebrate the bullies. They celebrated the quiet girl who stood tall beside her mother. A few days later, Kayla found herself sitting next to Emily in detention, holding a broom. She didn't say much, but after a while, she mumbled, "Hey, for real, I'm sorry. We shouldn't have done that. Emily looked at her. It's okay. Just don't do it to anyone else. There was no bitterness in her voice, only quiet strength. The kind her mother had always carried, and now, she did. 2 weeks passed, and something changed at Ridgewood High. The laughter in the halls wasn't cruel anymore. People began standing up for each other, inspired by that one moment when kindness had been stronger than fear, and that's what this story is really about, the moment we choose to stop being bystanders. Because sometimes, all it takes is one act of courage from a mother, a daughter, or even you, to change everything. If you believe in standing up against bullying, if you believe that silence isn't strength, then hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe for more powerful true life lessons. Because you never know, someone out there might need this message tonight.